Words have the power to build empires, or shatter egos in silence. Imagine standing in a heated moment, and with a single calm response, you turn chaos into clarity. The Stoics mastered this art not with anger, but with reason. Today, you'll learn 5 responses that can silence anyone. Imagine walking into a room where words hang heavy in the air, each one a weapon, a shield, or a bridge. Most people step into conversations like soldiers, ready to fire, eager to defend. But the Stoics? They entered as observers. Calm. Unshaken. Strategically aware of what's truly within their control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. These were not empty phrases, they were battle-tested philosophies. In the Roman Senate, heated debates could turn violent. Words could spark revolts. And yet, Stoic thinkers navigated these arenas with surgical precision. Every verbal encounter is, in truth, a mirror. When someone tries to provoke you, they reveal more about themselves than about you. Their tone, their urgency, their insecurity, all laid bare. The untrained mind reacts, the Stoic responds. Think of modern life: a coworker throws a sarcastic jab in a meeting. A friend misinterprets your silence as weakness. Social media becomes a battlefield of egos. Most react instantly, fueling the fire. But the Stoic steps back. They see the arena for what it is, a stage of perceptions. This isn't about winning arguments. It's about mastering your internal state, so no external word can shake it. The Stoics understood that the true battle isn't with others, it's within. And once you grasp this, you stop swinging wildly, and start choosing your words like a master strategist. In this silent mastery lies the first response, the most unexpected weapon in the Stoic arsenal. Picture this: someone throws a verbal dagger your way. An insult. A challenge. A trap designed to pull you into their emotional orbit. Most people catch the dagger and hurl it back, harder. But the Stoic? They let it fall to the floor. They pause. Seneca once wrote, "No man is hurt but by himself." In the heat of conflict, the greatest damage is rarely in the words spoken, it's in the reaction we choose. A pause is not weakness. It is psychological warfare in its purest form. Imagine a heated argument with a colleague. They raise their voice, accuse you of incompetence. You don't interrupt. You don't defend. You simply breathe, and let a few seconds of silence expand. Those seconds are powerful. In that pause, their adrenaline has nowhere to land. Their aggression meets a void, a mirror they can't escape. Psychologically, silence activates discomfort. Humans expect a rhythm in conversation: attack, defense, counterattack. But when one side doesn't play, the aggressor begins to doubt. Did they hear me? Are they unaffected? Did I overstep? The mind scrambles to fill the silence, often revealing insecurities hidden beneath the aggression. The Stoics used this masterfully. By pausing, they regained control over their inner state and forced the other to confront their own noise. Epictetus advised, if someone speaks ill of you, defend yourself only if what they say is untrue; if it is true, improve yourself. Silence, therefore, isn't passive, it's a conscious filtering. Is this worth your energy? Or does it reveal something about them, not you? In modern life, this can be transformative. In an online debate, instead of firing back immediately, you wait. In a family disagreement, you hold eye contact and breathe. This pause disarms more than any clever retort. It signals, I am not a puppet to your emotions. But what happens after the pause? What if, instead of reacting, you turn their words into a mirror, making them confront their own irrationality? That's where the second Stoic response begins. Imagine someone launching into a heated rant. Their words spiral: accusations, exaggerations, emotional jabs. Most people meet this storm with equal force, raising their voice to match. But the Stoic doesn't compete. They reflect. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, Seneca wrote. And often, the most chaotic conversations are built on imagined slights, distorted assumptions, or unchecked emotions. The Stoic response here isn't silence, it's mirroring, calmly repeating or paraphrasing what the other person says, word for word or essence for essence. Picture this: a coworker says, "You never take responsibility for anything." Instead of defending or attacking, you respond, "You feel like I never take responsibility?" Instantly, the energy shifts. They hear their own accusation echoed back, stripped of emotional charge. What was once a spear becomes a reflection. This simple act forces the speaker to listen to themselves, something few actually do in conflict. Psychologically, this is powerful. It disrupts the attack/defend loop and activates the rational brain. Suddenly, they're not arguing with you, they're hearing themselves. The Stoics understood that most verbal battles are battles with people's perceptions, not with facts. By reflecting, you avoid stepping into their illusion. Marcus Aurelius advised himself daily, "If it is not right, do not do it, if it is not true, do not say it." By mirroring calmly, you reveal whether what they said was right or true without a single counterpunch. In relationships, this works just as well. A partner says, "You don't care about me anymore." Instead of reacting defensively, you softly repeat, "You feel like I don't care?" That moment often cracks open the emotional truth beneath the anger. Reflection is not mockery, it's clarity. It doesn't escalate, it exposes. It doesn't silence by force, it silences through self-realization. But what happens when reflection isn't enough? When the storm keeps coming and words sharpen into weapons? That's when the Stoic reaches for something deeper, not tactics, but principles. There's a point in every confrontation where tactics alone aren't enough. The silence has unsettled them. The reflection has made them think. But some push harder, not because of you, but because their ego refuses to yield. This is where the Stoics drew their sharpest blade, principles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." For Stoics, the ultimate power wasn't clever comebacks. It was living by unwavering values. Principles cut through emotional fog like a blade, precise, silent, decisive. Imagine someone attacking your integrity, "You're such a liar. I can't trust a word you say." Many would snap back. But a Stoic might respond, "I choose to act honestly. Your trust is yours to give." No emotion. No defense. Just principle. This response is rooted in something unshakable. When you reply from principle, honesty, justice, temperance, courage, you shift the ground beneath the conversation. It's no longer about ego, it's about values. And values don't need permission to stand. Psychologically, this is a power move. When someone expects a heated reaction and receives calm moral clarity instead, their attack loses oxygen. It's like swinging a sword at stone, it clatters uselessly. Seneca reminded his students, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." Responding from principle is that unconquerable stance. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. Your identity isn't hanging on their approval, it rests on timeless virtues. In everyday life, this might sound like, "I choose to stay respectful, even if you don't. I value truth more than winning this argument. I don't need to insult you to make my point." These statements don't escalate, they elevate. They shift the conversation from noise to meaning. And often, that's enough to end the verbal duel, not with dominance, but with dignity. But sometimes, even principles can't stop the storm. Some arguments aren't meant to be won, they're meant to be redirected. Picture a raging river. If you try to block it head-on, you'll be crushed. But if you redirect its flow, the force weakens. Stoics knew that some verbal storms aren't meant to be resisted with silence, reflection, or principle alone, they must be strategically redirected. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone attacks verbally, they're often trapped in their own narrative. The Stoic response is to gently, calmly change the frame. Imagine a colleague saying, "You clearly have no idea what you're doing." Instead of arguing point by point, you respond with a curious, grounded question, "What specifically makes you feel that way?" The tone shifts instantly. Their aggression hits a wall of reason, then flows into explanation rather than escalation. By asking questions, you're not dodging, you're steering. Psychologically, this works because questions activate the thinking brain. Aggression lives in the emotional brain. By calmly probing, you invite the other person to reflect instead of react. Suddenly, they're doing the talking, revealing their fears, assumptions, or insecurities. Another example, someone says, "You're always late. You don't respect anyone's time." Instead of defending, you ask, "What impact does that have on you?" This flips the dynamic. Instead of trading accusations, you move into understanding. Stoics excelled at this. They didn't meet fire with fire, they redirected it toward clarity. Marcus Aurelius often used questioning in his journals to dismantle his own thoughts before externalizing them. In modern life, redirecting might mean calmly reframing a social media attack. "I see you feel strongly about this. What led you to that view?" It might mean turning a family argument into a dialogue rather than a shouting match. This is where Stoicism blends strategy with compassion. You're not silencing someone through force, you're inviting them to stand in their own storm and see it for what it is. And when silence, reflection, principles, and redirection combine, something deeper happens. You don't just respond like a Stoic, you become one. By now, you've seen the architecture of Stoic communication: silent power, reflective clarity, principled strength, strategic redirection. But the final lesson isn't about techniques. It's about embodiment. Stoicism isn't a script to memorize, it's a way of being. When you master these responses, something shifts, not just in how others hear you, but in how you hear yourself. Marcus Aurelius never argued to win, he reflected to understand. Seneca didn't seek to humiliate opponents, he sought to master his reactions. Epictetus taught his students not how to silence others, but how to stop being controlled by their words. Imagine standing in a confrontation now. Someone throws accusations. The old you reacts instantly: heat, defense, ego. But the Stoic you pauses, reflects, speaks from values, asks questions that cut through the fog. Your voice doesn't rise, it centers. The power dynamic flips, not because you dominated, but because you stayed anchored while they drifted. These 5 responses aren't tricks. They're psychological doorways. They remind others and yourself that power doesn't lie in noise. It lies in presence. In your next difficult conversation, try just one of these: the pause, the mirror, the principle, the redirection. Watch how the energy shifts. Watch how silence speaks louder than reaction. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." So don't just study Stoic speech, become it. Embody the calm that disarms chaos. And if this message resonated, share it with someone who's tired of reacting and ready to lead with presence. Because the Stoic voice isn't loud, it's unshakable.